Hello all, I'm back with another interesting video with Learn and Have Fun with Krisha, and this is another subject. As I told you in the last video that I'll be changing my subject from astronomy to civics. So this time I have chosen the topic of the main organ of the Indian government, that is the central legislature, which includes the topics of the Parliament of India and its two houses. So let us begin our tour into the Parliament of India. Let us first understand about the main branches of the government. That is the three branches that we have: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. So what we are going to study about in this is the legislative, and in the next upcoming videos I'm sure I will cover up the executive and the judicial as well. So the legislature has some features that we are going to study first. So the first one is that it makes the laws. The second, the union government and the state government have their own organs called as the union legislature and the state legislature. The Constitution of India clearly mentions the subjects on which the union and the state governments can legislate. So the topics on the subjects on which the union government can legislate are known as the union list, while with the state it is known as state list. So the union list consists of currency and defense, while the state list consists of agriculture and health. While there is a concurrent list also which mentions the subjects on which both the governments can legislate. So those include education, forest, and population. Both the union and the state are free to frame their laws, but in case of a conflict, the law of the union will prevail since that is the higher position. So the inland parliament is what is included in the legislature, as I've already told you. So the Indian parliament consists of two houses, that is the Lok Sabha, that is the lower house, and the Rajya Sabha, that is the upper house. Let us first see the Lok Sabha, starting with its composition. The maximum members of the Lok Sabha is 552. The elected members are 530. The Union Territory members are 20, while the present strength is 545 members, out of which 543 are elected, while 2 belong to the Anglo-Indian community. Now let us see the qualifications required to be a part of the Lok Sabha. The first and the foremost, that the person should be a citizen of India, should be at least 25 years of age, should not hold an office of profit in the government. The person's name should be in the voters list, should not be proclaimed offender and a bankrupt. Now let us see how elections are held for the Lok Sabha. The members are directly elected by the people. Individuals above the age of 18 can vote through the secret ballot system or the EVM, that is the electronic voting machine. After counting the votes, the election commissioner will declare the results. Now, the current speaker of the Lok Sabha is Mr. Om Birla. The functions of the speaker is that he presides over the meetings, he can adjourn the meetings, bills or resolutions can be passed only through the speaker. Allotting time to the members to speak is his duty. He presides over the joint meetings of both the houses. In case of a deadlock, he or she has a casting vote. He appoints various parliamentary committees. He safeguards the privileges of the members and can dismiss a member for misconduct. His or her decision regarding the money bill is final. Now, a deputy speaker exists who will take the speaker's place when the speaker is not present. So it is the deputy speaker who will officiate then. Now the sessions of the parliament are generally 3 in number in a year. The gap between two sessions should not be more than 6 months, and a special session can be held if it is required. Now the quorum. The quorum states the minimum number of members of an assembly that must be present at any of the Lok Sabha meetings. So for the Lok Sabha, it is 1/10 of the members that should be present at an assembly. With this, we complete the Lok Sabha. Now let us move on to the next house, that is the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is the Council of States, which is a permanent body. The total number of members of the Rajya Sabha are 250. Now the 250 members are divided into two parts, out of which 238 members are belonging to the states and the union territories, while the leftover 12 are nominated by the president. Let us see some important features of the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, so it cannot be dissolved. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected for 6 years. 1/3 of its total members retire after 2 years. The qualifications are the same as those of the Lok Sabha except the age. The minimum age of the Rajya Sabha is 30, while for the Lok Sabha it is 25 years. Now, the chairman and the deputy chairman. We've seen for the Lok Sabha we have a speaker and a deputy speaker, who is Mr. Om Birla currently. While here, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha is the vice president of India. His or her duties are the same as the speaker of Lok Sabha. In his or her absence, the duties are performed by the deputy chairman. And the present chairman is Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, who is a vice president also. Now let us see how a bill becomes a law. A bill, before the acts are passed by the parliament, they are known as bill. So before we call a law or as a law or an act, it is known as bill before it is passed by the parliament. Now there are two types of bills. We have the money bills and the ordinary bills. The money bills deal with income and expenditure, that is obvious since it is money. And we have the ordinary bills which do not deal with money. So there are three stages of passing a bill. Now here you can see until it is not passed, signed by the president, a bill does not become a law. Now the three stages are first reading, the bill is introduced by the ministers concerned. The second reading includes the bill that may be either be considered or sent to the standing committee. Then a draft report is then made and put before the House. And the third stage, that is the third reading, is where the bill is rejected or passed. Now let us see the procedure followed by ordinary bill. The ordinary bill can be introduced by any houses of the parliament. But it should be passed by both the houses before it is sent to the president for approval. Now step 2 says that bill will be passed if the majority of the members agree to it. The third step says in case of a deadlock, a joint sitting of both the houses will be called by the president. And the fourth step, in the joint session, the will of the Lok Sabha will prevail as its number of members is more than double that of the Rajya Sabha. Now let us see the procedure followed by a money bill. The first step says that it originates only in the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha must return the bill with suggestions within 14 days itself. And if the bill is not returned within 14 days, then it is sent to the president for assent. Now let us see the powers of the parliament. The legislative powers are: the main function of the parliament is to make laws mentioned in the union list. Now in the union list, we've already seen the union list consists of the currency and the defense. And the second is all the ordinances passed during the intervals of the parliament must be put before both the houses to be passed. Now let us see the executive or financial powers first. The financial powers, the parliament controls the national finance by either rejecting or changing the budget. No expenditure regarding collection of taxes can occur unless consented by the parliament. And money bill can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. We've already seen this. Now let us see the executive powers. Question R is an everyday morning session which allows any member of the parliament to ask questions in the government. So this question hour is where it is held every day, and the MPs, that is the members of the parliament, are allowed to ask questions to the government. So any of the members can ask. The MPs can control the expenditure in the annual budget and decide the salaries and allowances of the ministers. An adjournment motion on an urgent matter can be moved for approval. If any mistake is made, the government is responsible for its action, and a no confidence motion can be passed if a government does not follow the constitution. Now, a no confidence motion is where the people living in the country have no more confidence left on the government. So that is when they pass this no confidence motion, where the government can be impeached. Now, let us see the functions of the parliament. The judicial functions. A parliament can impeach the president and the judges of the High Court and Supreme Court for misuse of power or position. And the electoral function says that the president and the vice president are elected by the elected members of both the houses, that is the MPs. Now let us see the relation between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Both enjoy co-equal powers. The Lok Sabha enjoys predominance over the Rajya Sabha. For example, in the case of money bills, we have already seen this. And in some situations, the Rajya Sabha is also superior. For example, when we saw that the bill has to pass through the Rajya Sabha. So with this, we complete the Central Legislature. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And keep watching and stay tuned for the next video on Executive. Also, there is an assessment link in the description box. Do check it out. Thank you.